There are two reasons why I am giving this film a second look. Like any film addict, I have a routine locked down for how I go to the movies, and while I do enjoy company, it's not the best time if that routine is blown off course. I used to be very strict about this routine, but now I'm not nearly as strict, and it's for the better. I now know that. The day I saw this movie in theaters, it was with a group of friends. Well, actually, no, wait a tick. It was one of my friends and then two of his friends. That's right. I won't go into, details. Nothing horrible happened before or after the film, but basically speaking, events that happened prior to and after the movie made me go into the movie and into the review with a really upset attitude. And as a result, I produced a video that I am not proud of. I also did not present the context of my knowledge of Star Trek in a respectable manner. Me seeing this movie and then reviewing it would have been like a non-Batman fan going to see The Dark Knight and then reviewing it having only previously seen Batman Begins. It doesn't make a ton of sense. But as I've learned over the years, even if someone like myself is not very knowledgeable about this world and the characters living in that world, they can still, enjoy the movie. And so, with that in mind, even though it is way overdue, I'm gonna give this another go. Here we go. Star Trek Into Darkness. I'll tell you first off that seeing this in IMAX 3D was a lot cooler than watching it on my computer. The quality was not half bad, but still. Having only seen previously the first J.J. Abrams Star Trek, I still have a very pedestrian knowledge about Star Trek, the world and its characters. But I think, given what I do know, as little as it is, this is a very fun movie, and I really enjoyed it the second time around. The strongest areas for me were J.J. Abrams' style of directing and the editing, because married together, the two combined made a tightly paced, kinetic sci-fi flick. The way cinematographer Daniel Mandel framed certain shots did bother me, but I was entranced by the sometimes monochromatic, sometimes complementary color palette. The film's look, not excluding its sets, were masterfully thought out. I never once thought they looked like a soundstage set. The interactions between the crew members were also scripted terrifically, and the funniest scenes for me involved Kirk, Spock, and Uhura. They worked because the filmmakers have great actors working opposite one another. Compliments must also go out to the visual effects people because space looks amazing, and I felt like I was there even on my computer. My personal flaws with the film come with Khan, Spock, and Chekhov. With Chekhov, it's nothing really all that big, it's just that Anton Yelchin's accent, in my eyes, is god-awful, and I just can't stand it. As for Khan, it is clear that Abrams was trying to surprise audiences by the way that Cumberbatch delivered his name line, but it didn't mean anything to me. Because this is a reboot, people like myself who are now just getting into Star Trek don't know who Khan is, but Abrams assumed that everyone going into this movie knew who he was, so he provided very little backstory, and the backstory that was presented was done so via expositional dialogue, and that made his character less interesting. When that Khan line came, there were others around me who I sensed were, like myself, frowning at a confusion, while others around us were either gasping or claiming, "I knew it." I wish I had been one of the gaspers, because they were clearly having a better time than I was. When it comes to Spock, I'm unclear as to when he stops being a robot and starts being a human. His range is unclear to me, and it seemed to me the writers were more concerned with getting laughs based on who he is, rather than exploring his character. The scene where Spock yells Khan, I understand fans were mad about because the roles were reversed. From my perspective, bypassing the fact that I don't feel like that character earned that moment, the roles should have been reversed, because that would have meant then that Khan had taken two friends away from Kirk, and that would have fueled a powerful performance, I guarantee. But of course the filmmakers chose a different, riskier path. They chose the way of the Mandarin, if you catch my drift. If not, Iron Man 3 reference. Some liked it, some, hated it. After re-examining the film and seeing how the characters changed from movie 1 to now, I would say this film came out like a spaceship in need of some repairs. But given how the spaceship flew just fine without those repairs, it is best to just look forward to the third movie. I'm going to give Star Trek Into Darkness a new score of 3.5 out of 5 stars. Thank you very much for your time. Have an awesome day.